What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This is Season 5, Episode 15, and the title of this episode is Point of No Return. Let's start off with Larissa and Eric. So Eric says that things got pretty hectic overnight. Now, you know that Eric has been Larissa's caregiver. He says that he got 2 hours of sleep and he was up all night icing and walking Larissa. Eric says that he feels like he's being trained to be a father, but why not a husband? He's looking at her like a child that he's tending to. I thought that was crazy. I do commend him though, because you definitely need to have a lot of patience when being a caregiver. Now, when Eric in this scene started crying once they got to the doctor's office, I was like, he's either acting or very overwhelmed. And sometimes being overwhelmed can bring on those emotions. He takes Larissa to her 24-hour checkup post-surgery. When Eric said that he thought that she'd be further along and it's only been a day, I was like, he has no clue what he signed up for. Comment down below your thoughts and let's move on to Angela and Michael. So Angela is packing up and flying back to the States, and she feels that it's her fault for leaving, and she's pretty confident saying that nobody can take care of her mom like she can. Michael says that he doesn't feel good or well because he doesn't know when he's going to be able to see his wife again, but he does completely understand why she must go and knows that he must be strong for Angela. Angela says that she doesn't want to leave Michael because this is a bad situation and she isn't sure if she can face what's waiting for her at home alone. So once they get to the airport, they say their goodbyes and she says that her biggest fear is that she won't make it to her mom in time. Comment down below your thoughts and let's move on to Elizabeth and Andrei. So Charlie gives his drunken hate speech towards Andrei, and Andrei then pulls him outside. I wouldn't have given him the time of day. I feel like he should have had someone else deal with Charlie and also to escort him out. I was very proud at the way that Andrei handled the situation. I feel like he was very mature. And to me, Charlie just looks like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum. I'm so sorry to say this, but it's just how I feel. Jen, she's trash too. Now, this is the thing. Even though we know that Andrei whispered the bug into Libby's ear to have her father pay for the wedding, right? We know that. But at the end of the day, Andrei isn't the one that went to Chuck for the wedding to happen. Libby actually did. And if Chuck didn't want to pay, he could have said no. Before the girl, she just started crying before she could even get the words out of her mouth. He says, you know, I'm going to take care of you. You know, your dad is going to look out for you. You know, I'm going to pay for this wedding, whatever you want. So he volunteered to pay for this wedding. No one is using Charlie. Charlie is willingly doing these things for his daughter, not Andrei per se. He wants to see his daughter happy, so he's doing it for his daughter. Charlie is mad over money being spent that doesn't even belong to him. That's the funny part. He's embarrassing, and Libby, along with Chuck, have the audacity to say to Andrei, what did he say to make Charlie so mad? And they know that this dude is drunk. So no one said anything to him. It was great to see Andrei apologize for being rude to the family in the past with, different past situations that have taken place. But I also feel like an apology should have been given to him as well for their actions, rude comments about him, his country, and his family, pressing his family and friends about his past, which they had no right to do. So I feel like just like he gave an apology, that he deserved to receive an apology as well. And you all know how I feel about Andrei. But for some reason, he would get on my nerves, that is starting to shift a little bit for me. I still remember the things and what a jerk that he was. But in these past episodes, he has really been taking the high road and being mature. I know some might say, oh, it's just because he wanted Charlie to pay for this wedding. Whatever the case, he's able to put his pride aside and, at least try. And also offering an apology that I feel like it took a lot for him to apologize because of the type of guy that he is. So I can give Andrei the benefit of the doubt and say that it was sincere. Comment down below your thoughts and let's move on to Kalani Kalani and Asuelu. So Kalani and Asuelu are headed to where his family has been staying, their hotel, to see them off because the family's getting ready to leave. And things weren't resolved with Tammy. We know this, Tammy and Kalani. So Asuelu says that he hopes that Kalani doesn't beat up his sister. So once they get to the hotel, they find out that Tammy already booked an early flight and left out before, they could even say their goodbyes to her. So Asuelu says that he feels disappointed that she did that. And I was rolling when his mom said, one last thing before I go, please, I need some money. Like the way she said it, and then you had Kalani and Asuelu both looking at each other. I just thought it was hilarious. But the mom, she ends up saying that she's just kidding. But I think that she was mad serious and just wanted to test out to see if they actually would give her some money before she left off. So she was like, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm just kidding. But nah, she wasn't kidding. Comment down below your thoughts. And let's move on to Sinjin and Tania. So Sinjin and Tania had another argument in front of his friends, and it's time for them to leave. And you can tell that his family wants him to stay. His family isn't convinced that his marriage will work. Now, when his sister said something along the lines that she's starting to think that Tania isn't all that she thought she was, I was like, dang. When Tania sees this, that's gonna hurt for sure. For sure, that's gonna hurt. So Sinjin's mom tells him that he's wasting his journey, his time, and Tania's time if they aren't going to be together and really make this marriage work. I think that his family really wants him to stay, and I agree that he and Tania need to part ways, but he has to be the one to make that decision on his own as a grown man and not be guilt-tripped by his family or pressured by his family. And I somewhat kind of felt that their desire for him to stay, and also with the things that they witnessed, they're trying to utilize that time to make him think about perhaps staying and not even going back. But I feel like he decided to get married, whether it was a rush, it was quick. He decided as a man to do that. So he needs to put in the work, see it through, give it a chance. And if not, he does need to move on with his life. So that's just my thoughts on that. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Colt. So Debbie says that she's starting to worry that Colt isn't truly happy. Over dinner, Debbie tries to talk with Colt, and he's very short with her. So Debbie picks up on that, and Colt says that sometimes he doesn't want to tell her everything because he feels as though he doesn't have his privacy. He said a thin layer of privacy, right? He says he has a thin layer of privacy. Debbie is still convinced that Jess was using him and goes down that line again. And Colt says that he doesn't think that his mom understands how he wants to be treated. So he tells her that he doesn't want her to interfere and doesn't feel that the way that she treats him is as an adult or a man. And Debbie doesn't like this conversation one bit. You can see the shift in her face. She gets pretty pissed off at Colt. She says things like, it'll be a cold day in hell before she washes his clothes and makes his bed again. And the fact that she still makes this grown tail man's bed is a true problem and is very concerning. There's no telling what else she does for Colt that hasn't been revealed. Colt says that if he wants women to treat him like a man, he needs his mother to do so as well. He feels as though the women that enter his life see Debbie as a competition or a threat because she is basically taking the place and doing everything that maybe perhaps a woman would like to do for her man. Right? So the next step, I feel like with Colt would be to move out. He needs to move out. At 35 years old, it's time because I don't see things getting better. I feel like they would both fall back into old patterns. He'll stand up for himself, then later find himself retracting or being shaky with his boundaries that he set in place because he doesn't want his mother to feel bad or be upset with him. You know, an example of that is he stands his ground and sets a boundary, and then he goes wanting to coddle his mom and, hold her hand and I love you. I want us to be best friends and I want to get to know you. And I'm like, okay, you've been living with your mom for 35 years. You've never been apart from your mom. So if you don't know this woman by now, then you'll never know her. And it's just really an unhealthy situation. And Debbie is really snappy when she says to him, well, you need to try learning and knowing who you are first before you could get to know me. Like, it was just really weird. The vibes, I just don't know, but I don't like the way that Colt and his mama be vibing. For real, for real. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Angela and Michael. So Angela got a positive update on her mom. Her mom is now responsive. So she's back in the States, and now she's headed straight to the hospital from the airport. Angela says that she's a nervous wreck and praying that she can at least hold her mom's hand and tell her that she loves her. Now, they kind of speed through, and Angela says 10 days later, after she made it back, her mom passed away. So it's never easy to experience or even to watch someone experience loss. Never easy. This was a really sad scene. Skyla and Angela in this scene also talk about their final moments with Angela's mother, and Angela talks about how much she needs Michael to lean on, and for the most part, he has been supportive, but it's only so much a person can do over the phone. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So it's been a few weeks since Asuelu's family has left Utah, and Kalani says that she feels like they are taking adult steps and it's helping them. Along with, they do the couples therapy. They're still doing that. So in this scene, they go out for dinner and drinks while her mom watches the boys. And Kalani says since therapy, Asuelu has been opening up more. Now, while out, they decide to do their homework. Well, Kalani decides that this will be a great time for them to do the homework that was given to them by their therapist. And the homework is for them to each write down what they feel each other's duties or roles are within their household. So their duties and then their spouse's duties. And Asuelu obviously just wants to be responsible for himself, okay? So it's a lot of, I need to wash my dishes, do yard work, and wash my clothes. That's all he says. He doesn't say anything about being a father and helping. And Kalani wants him to see that they need to do things as a family, as a team. She was looking for a helpmate. She's looking for someone to help her with the boys, and think that is what Kalani is looking for, and she is not receiving that one bit from Asuelu. Asuelu, on her side, he put that, she needs to tend to herself and take care of the boys. So it's like, basically, she's tending to herself, the boys, and him, while Asuelu just has fun and goes to play volleyball with his friends and goes in the yard and rakes up apples. Like, it's crazy. Comment down below your thoughts on that. And let's move on to Elizabeth and Andrei. So instead of them enjoying their wedding, Elizabeth is fake crying and calls herself chastising Andrei, okay? Telling him that he better get along with her family because they are all the family that he has in America. But it goes both ways, okay? Charlie is the only one showing his behind at this wedding. Just doesn't. Oh, it's just a hot mess. I keep looking at the dude's plate, and at no time do I see any food. I don't know. Did you all catch any food on his plate? So that means it's just all liquor. Okay. And actress Libby made an appearance in this scene with the fake tears once again. She must be practicing for an upcoming role, because I was like, girl, you is a mess. Like, Libby is a mess. I just don't have any other words for it. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Sinjin and Tania. So Sinjin and Tania have a talk in the scene, and they still talk over each other more than they listen. Basically, Sinjin says that he does want to go back to the States to give their marriage a fair shot. So they pack up and say their goodbyes to Sinjin's family, and Sinjin commits to getting a job and keeping Tania happy. And Tania says that she's going to work on her patience. Yeah, right. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Angela and Michael. So it's been 2 weeks since Angela's mother's passing, and she says that Michael has helped her a lot, as much as he can, by phone. And she goes into her room in this scene and lights up a cigarette to FaceTime Michael. They talk about the spousal visa, and she says that she's not going to give up that dream of wanting Michael there with her. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Larissa and Eric. So Eric says that he feels like taking care of Larissa was definitely a turning point in their relationship. Larissa is healed and wants to show off her new look to her friends. I think that Larissa's nose job turned out pretty nice, but the boobs are a bit too big for her frame, I think. I think they're just too big. I don't know if it's because she's still healing, it's swollen, and eventually they'll maybe drop. I don't know what the case is, but I just think they're a little too big, but I do think the nose job is nice. So wedding and marriage talk pops up, and it doesn't seem like Eric is for that. He gives off that vibe of like that type of talk scares him a little bit, the talk of marriage. So Larissa, you might want to figure that situation out. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So by this time of filming, the pandemic hit, and Asuelu hasn't been taking it seriously. He's still going out, playing with his friends and lying about his whereabouts. So Kalani kicks him out and tells him to go to his mom's house. She talks to her mom and says that she isn't receiving the basic things in the marriage, like companionship or helping her with the boys. Kalani says 20% is her trying to, give this a chance. She's trying to give him a chance to change, but she isn't holding her breath. Asuelu, on the other hand, feels that Kalani is overreacting and says that he understands how COVID-19 works. So that's why he just goes to play volleyball. Y'all, I'm not going to bash this man, and I'm not going to even go into it because I'm all about protecting my peace and my energy. And all I'm going to do is just bust up. This dude said that he understands how COVID-19 works. I don't think any of us understand how COVID-19 works for real. We just know that we trying our best to stay healthy and not catch it. And this dude talking about he understands how it works, so that's why he just go to play volleyball. But does he not know that you catch COVID from being around others? So you should be social distancing. Then you're going out and risking the health of your boys, coming back, playing with them. Their little immune systems can't handle no COVID. This dude, what is wrong with him? Yeah, Kalani, send him packing, send him back to his mama. They want him so bad. So yeah, let him go because he's not benefiting you, sweetheart. So yes, I agree. Send him back home. Kalani says that she doesn't know if she's going to miss him. She booked him a flight and sent him to his mama since he wants to play childish games. I would not risk the health and the safety of my children either. I think she made the right choice. I really, really want to know your thoughts on all of these couples. This is 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Season 5, Episode 15. Again, the title of this episode was Point of No Return. Comment down below your thoughts. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next time I make an upload. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.